Hello. Um, okay, so I figured in dealing with talking about social anxiety, uh, I'm probably gonna deal with a few negative things. But I wanted to start out with a little more positive video. Uh, for about the last year or so, where I feel I've grown. Uh, but unfortunately, to do that, I feel like I have to show, at least to a certain extent, where I came from, especially if anyone watches this who doesn't have or doesn't understand social anxiety. So quickly, I'll just say it. I want to go back just about 2 years ago. Um, I was supposed to go away to Disney for my 40th birthday. I had just a few days, and something came up. Be a lot of things in this, which I'll probably not going to go into full detail, which I will at some probably later videos. But there was some issues that came up, and it could have been resolved with just a phone call. And for people who know social anxiety, making phone calls can be a big stressor for a lot of people, and it ended up costing me a vacation, which kind of sent me into a bit of a depression. Um, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but something I want to get it do with how we have to do with some of the stuff we talk about later. Also, if you haven't been able to tell already, I'm into a lot of, I guess, geeky or dorky stuff, but some of the shows I like also are like Survivor and Big Brother, the strategy social games, particularly Big Brother, because I not only like the strategy, I'm really intrigued by the social aspect, uh, which is more prevalent in a show like Big Brother, where they're crammed in a house for 3 months. Uh, so the only person I know who watches it, or that I know of that watches it, is my therapist, and we would talk about it. And I had actually thought about applying, and she started talking to me about it, and I said, "Well, maybe," but I never did. I couldn't, and she she said, "Well, when's the deadline coming up to submit a video?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's soon." And this is last year, and she just happened to check online, and it happened to be that day. She goes, "Oh, I'll film you. I'll film you." I'm like, "I'm not sure." And she put the camera in front of me, and I froze. I didn't say anything for however long she had the camera on me, a minute, 2 minutes. I couldn't do it. Uh, uh, and then even going later on, I've always been a fan of, I guess, talk radio. Not the political talk radio, but like either sports talk or the entertainment talk. You know, someone who's been on and off the air in New York a few times is the radio chick. If you don't know who she is, it's I guess similar to a Howard Stern type show. He's too early in the morning for me, so I really never got into him. But that type of stuff, and I would listen to it, and I would, depending on the topic, I would think, what I would say. Uh, but of course, I would never call in. Eventually, I found, as I was got onto YouTube a little bit. Table Talk, which is similar with that like geeky edge to it. Of course, there's no calling in, so that's not a big deal. But wouldn't leave any comments, which then led me to Trisha Hirschberger's vlog, as I mentioned in my previous one. And again, she would talk about topics, and I would start to think, oh, what would I say if I would respond? Uh, and I started thinking, well, maybe I will respond because I could do it privately. At least only one person will hear it. And I thought about it a few times, and again, I couldn't do it. I even went as far as looking to see, okay, how do you go about posting on YouTube? At the time, I didn't know anything about it, and I kind of froze up, and I kind of feel these few things are kind of led me to a point of, I guess I'll call it acceptance of the social anxiety, where as opposed to, you know, feeling mad at myself, like, why can't you do this? It seems something simple enough to just do this. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm actually a pretty logical thinker. I mean, in my head, I say to myself, well, why should it matter what someone thinks? But there's that part of my brain that just, like I said, freezes up. Uh, eh, so now, last year, I decided to try Disney again. Um, this was I decided to go in September. I heard that's probably one of the better times of the year to go. It's less crowded. Kids are back in school. And I made my plans very end of July. So I had a month to a month and a half before I was going on vacation. Um, I had been a little bit overweight. Actually, earlier in the year, I was the heaviest I had ever been. I lost a few pounds since then. My sister got married earlier in the year. Maybe I watched what I ate a little. I'm not sure. But so I decided to start exercising. I've exercised from time to time in the past, maybe a couple months. It's never stuck. Um, I decided to go running. My sister had mentioned, she'd use a C25K app, which if you don't know, it's something that kind of trains you to do a 5K. Not that I was looking to do a 5K, but it at least gives you a, a program to kind of stick with. I didn't stick with it exactly. I spent a lot of time in the first 2, maybe 3 weeks, being a bit out of shape. Uh, but I feel that was kind of the start of my turnaround. And I don't think I didn't realize it at the time. But I work at a job where I'm on my feet all day, and I I found I was exhausted a few hours into the day, and I always thought, well, maybe I'm just getting I'm older now. I'm not 25 years old anymore. But after keeping up with the exercising, I realized I had more energy, and you start to feel better. The endorphins, and I guess helps you. I almost find it meditative, I guess I would say. I initially I started listening to like audiobooks or stuff, but I found when I started running it was hard to concentrate on them. So a lot of times I wouldn't listen to anything. I would either just think, or you'd end up basically focusing on your breath, because breathing was a little hard for me. And I feel that started to help me. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'll probably split this up into a couple parts because we're at like 10 minutes now, and I know most people don't want to sit here and watch 20-minute, half-hour videos, if anyone watches this at all. But I'll continue with this past year in the next video. All right, goodbye.